How are we all this morning? Let me just get you up here. Hello, hello. I kind of got sidetracked. I popped it live and then a couple of things happened, and I did go outside and just have a look at my native Pandora creeper that is growing over an old gate I put on the wall for Craft and Cook Show last year on YouTube, and it looks really pretty, so I will take a photo of it later and pop it up. I'll pop it up here, pop it up on Love and Hugs so you can see it. But good morning and good evening wherever you are. Wow, this 8 a.m. thing's really interesting, isn't it? What was I thinking again? But no, it's really nice to do this in the morning because I know a lot of you will take the opportunity to have a little bit of a sleep in, or you're tucked up in bed on the other side of the world and you're getting ready for your Saturday. So it's kind of really nice. So what we're going to do today is just a couple of little projects. My girls that watch Chandler's Cottage know I'm doing a little bit of a repeat of my blue set today, but that's also because this weekend we're releasing the Oriental Baltimore pattern as a paid download, so that will go up sometime over the weekend so that you can enjoy it and print it wherever you are if you'd like to do it. So yeah, we'll get that organized for you. And then what I want to do today, let me just see if I can find you in comments somewhere in here. We're going to make a little petal pin cushion. It is one that I did a while ago, but that's okay because I'm going to show you how to design your own. Oh, here we are. I think I found you. There we go. And then we're going to just take a little visit for those that haven't seen it before and make our little lotus fabric flowers, because it again is one of those visual things, a bit like my origami pattern, where it's nice to actually see it done by someone, just not read a diagram. And it's the perfect time of year to start looking at those sort of things. But before we get started, I will just say good morning to Alison. Hello Alison, and hello Marie, and Fiona is here. Marie's here, Sharon's here. Oh, you're all here. Hello Heather, hello Donna. Oh, I'm glad you like the blue theme. I'm getting a bit partial to the blue theme myself. Karen is here as well. Oh, lovely. Denise. Indiana, if the feed keeps pausing, please have a look at where you're set up in your house. We've got really good, hang on, what's it called? Upload speed at this end. So hopefully you're going to be able to find somewhere that you can fix it up so that you can watch it. Or if it does play up for you today and there's just a problem with your internet, you can always watch it later. It is staying up, and then we're uploading them all onto the Lisa Chandler YouTube channel as well. I think Cass popped up the first 5 that I did on Love and Hugs onto my YouTube channel yesterday. Annette, hello, good morning and good evening from North Wales. Oh, girl after my own heart. Actually, as we start to talk about Christmas presents and decorations, I would have to say, Annette, my most precious decorations are, of course, Welsh slate Christmas decorations I bought when I was there. So there you go. Okay, this is the first thing that I want to do with you today, which is our little lotus flower. Whoa, he clashes with the set, doesn't he? We're going to make a blue one. So this is the simplest little thing to make. This was something that the origin of it, you're going to think, that's a little bit different. I didn't come up with this. We call this a lotus flower because of the shape. I didn't come up with this myself. When I was a little girl, my Aunt Ruth used to work at a restaurant, and this was the way that they folded the big linen napkins, serviettes. And as a waitress, she used to get to take home and earn a few cents for each one, take home a whole heap of them and fold them all, and then take them back to work. So she'd have big trays of them in her car. And then through the years, as we grew up, always in a restaurant, if we got bored as children, we would make these. And then later in life, I used to use this to keep little children occupied in restaurants as well. And then it occurred to me, how nice would it be just to make them out of fabric, so that you can give them as gifts or sit them on your table with some treasures in for Christmas, maybe some chocolates, or pop a little glass cup in with your tea candles in. It's just a fun little thing to do. So we'll make one of these up first. Good morning, Francis. Good to see you, and Lorraine as well, and Alyssa. See, I catch some of you. If I get up first thing in the morning and do this early, I catch more of you because you're not at work, which makes a big difference too. So what we're going to need first, I have done a little bit of prep so that I don't take up too much of your time, so you can either go to sleep or you can get up and do something because it's Saturday. Let me just try this one. So what I have prepared, ready to go, I'm going to use blue because of the set today. So I've cut a square from my Summer Palace floral, and I've also cut a square from the Summer Palace dragons. And we looked at these the other day, but I pulled out the blue and silver ones today. I do like to tell my Chandler's Cottage girls, again, if you don't follow us on Facebook, that I like to tell them when something's running out, because it's not fair if you use my fabrics and you are making something long term, because Under the Australian Sun does go on forever while I can draw a breath at will, but other ranges may come and go, and Summer Palace therefore is not staying round. When it's gone, it's gone. It's not going to be like Melbourne Under the Australian Sun. So I have just opened the last bulk, so that means there are 9 meters left through Chandler's Cottage, and that's it. So I need to tell people that, because people get really cross with me in 12 months time if they say, oh, I'm ready to put the border on my quilt now. Right, so they're the ones I've used. Now this one here that I've made, I started with about an 18-inch square of 2 fabrics. And that means that if you've got 2 fat quarters, then you can definitely, you can definitely just trim those down to 18 inches. So even if you've got imperial fat quarters in the US as well, or you've bought imperial ones, just cut them down. You can go to about 16, 17, 18 inches. That's probably about as big as you'd want to go. I'm going to trial this morning to go a little bit smaller than that, and I've just realized I didn't grab a glass from the kitchen, so I hope Rob's listening and he's going to run into the kitchen for me and get me a glass, because we need a glass to make these. If not, I'll go and get one. So what I've got prepped are 2 squares, and I've gone right down. I've actually gone down to 12 inches. So I've cut one from 12. We'll see how small we can go. And I've also cut dragons from 12-inch square. Now, I'm using these today as a tonal print. So the other day when we looked at the dragons, we actually were fussy cutting them down. And we were using them, perfectly with the 1/4-inch seams and shaping them. Today, thanks, Rob. I think the small one, too. Today, can I have the other one with water in it, do you think? Yep. Thank you. We're just going to use it as a tonal print to contrast against this one. On the back of this one, I have popped on already some adhesive interfacing. This one is Steam Seam. So it comes with paper on both sides. This is one of those tricky things that a lot of people don't sell on their website. Therefore, I've taken it upon myself within the next week to get all of our stabilizers and everything up online and find a way to effectively not just sell them to you, but package them so that they arrive undamaged. I think Vlisafix might be a challenge, but definitely Steamer Seam will be able to do with Whisper Weft and all those things. So I've just peeled off the paper, and you can see it's quite sticky now. It's why I really like Steamer Seam, particularly when you're positioning applique pieces. It's really nice to work with because you can sort of pop them on. Do you remember when we were kids, we used to have those felt pictures? You have a piece of felt in a little frame, and then you put the little dolly dresses and trees and things on. It works like that for you while you're doing applique positioning, which is really nice. So I'm going to now put these wrong sides together so that my dragons are over the top of the floral. I like doing it this way. I'm going to say now, if I'm just going to use it as a present or a table decoration. If you decide that you are going to do these maybe as the base of a bag, so you could actually pop a little drawstring bag in here as well, and you want it to have a more finished look, you can put two pieces right sides together and sew right round, leave a little gap and turn it the right way out and press it. You can do that. No reason why you can't. And then maybe instead of the steamer seam or the adhesive, you would put give it a really good starch, because the adhesive gives some firmness and some stiffness to this, which is really important for it to keep its shape. And if you don't even want to do this with your fabric to start with, if you want to have a go without it first, just do it out of a serviette. That's just the way, you know, we first found these. So just use a serviette if you want to. Who's watching? Oh, hello Gail, hello Jenny. Good to see you. Janelle's here as well. Susan is here. Terry's here and Helen's here. Christine's here. Good morning and good evening to you. Hello Gail. If you are somewhere else in the world, you know I need to know where you are, because it's just a thrill, an absolute thrill to find out where people are. Okay, so I've popped those on, and you can see I'm just using a wooden board this morning and a towel, because I really wanted a super firm surface and I wanted steam. So the towel absorbs the steam, and just having the board underneath gives me a really nice firm surface to press on. So I'm going to trim this up. I've just gone a little bit askew. Probably a good tip would be to make it just a little bit bigger. Hello Joe and Sue. Oh, Sue's in California. I knew that. How are you? I would, you know, to do this probably really like a professional, not like I am, you could make it bigger than you need and then trim it down. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just going to trim this down to 11.5 so that I know I've got a really good square to start with. There we go. So we'll take this bit off here. It is Saturday morning here. Did you hear that beeping noise? I don't know if you can hear that beeping noise. But that beeping noise, I'm not kidding, everyone, is our washing machine. We're still getting the hang of doing this from our home studio, and every now and then we just don't think ahead. But there you go, you are in the house. Marcia, where are you? You're in Ohio. Oh, that is so on my bucket list. So on my bucket list, and it should have happened. You know, those stories should have been there in May last year with young Stephen that's just built our new website. Sorry about that. Yeah, Brian, you're 10 minutes down the road. Yeah, sorry about that. Missed you. But we will be back. We will be back, absolutely. Okay. Back to the iron. Right. We're ready to go. What you're going to do is iron all of these into the center. And this is, I'm going to go one way, and then we can have a chat about whether you're the right side, which side you have up, depending on which side you end up on the outside. To me, showing you it doesn't matter this morning, but take note. Well, we start with this one up maybe, and then if I do all of that, it's going to flick. Which one do I want in the middle? Probably the blue. I'm going to go this way. Okay, let's fold these in. So this is quite firm now. It's quite firm. I suppose you could do it with a really lovely handkerchief. You know, how lovely would it be? Yeah, I'd love to come to Marcia to Ohio for a visit. Whoa, just, you know, get me on a plane. Okay, into the middle. A handkerchief with a rolled hem, starched up, really pretty. If you've got a bit of liberty in the cupboard, that's what I would do. Okay. Oh, I'm a little bit off. There we go. Now the other thing that makes it really pretty, if you are just doing it as a gift, you could also use your pinking shears to do the edge of the square. So we've gone once into the middle, and then we're going to go again. 1, 2. Unlike my origami blocks, it does not have to be super accurate, okay? It doesn't. So they're going to go in there like that. And just give him a little press this time. Oh, and give myself a facial with the steam. Okay. Right, now we're going to flip again. Now it's getting down to the small size. So we did 2 folds into the middle on one side, and then we're flipping over and doing 1 into the middle like that on this side. This is where the glass comes in. And this is why it's so much fun to do it in restaurants with kids as well. So now what we're going to do is we're going to have a look for our petals. So maybe if I turn it this way, I'll bring it over here for you so you can see. Here we go. So we're going to lift up and we're going to pull a petal out from underneath. 2, 3, 4. So there's our first 4, and then if you go underneath again on the sides, you'll find you've got your second set. So there's 1, 2, 3. Oh, how cute is the little one? There you go. So what they used to do, Karen, sorry, I've just seen your message. I think it's gone on to, I'm sure it's on A Quilter's Life, and it may be up as a free download on Chandler's Cottage. I would have a little bit of a look. I think it is, but you don't. Karen Osmond, you don't need a pattern. Which 2 blues are sold out? These 2, I will fix that. No, I will double fix that for you and make sure that they're back up. I can do that straight after the show. No problems, Fee. Yeah, so how cute's that? So you can come back and just sit little tea candles in, like my little precious cup here. I could put my little cup in there and have my little tea candle in there. Of course, if you do these very retro 70s dinner party style, because this was the 70s. So these used to go on the table and you'd have your wine glass upside down. But for me now, I'll be honest, unless I'm talking about where the pattern came from, I forget, because I absolutely love this. We did this when I did my Indian range, and I designed a base of just a little drawstring bag, a little bit like the ones we did the other day, but or the last show, but with a round base, and it went inside here, and I attached the tips to the outside of the bag, so it literally was a little lotus flower bag. So have a little bit of fun, rewind, but you need a square. You fold into the center twice, flip, fold into the center once. That's it, glass on, pull the petals up. Good fun, good fun. So you can, well, Sue, you can make one now. Hop out of bed, go and get one, go and get a napkin, and then while I do the next thing, you can make one. It'd be quite enjoyable to get all the squares ready and then just have a tray in front of the television and then just sit there and make them up. It would be quite nice, I think. Okay, next thing for today. So we've also covered how to make 3D petals. We did the other day. Good morning, Ginny. Good morning. Sorry, pussycat at my legs. On my white pants. You right? I might lift her up for a tick because if I don't, she'll jump up when we don't expect it. So we'll just let her have a look around and make sure she feels like she's in charge of the studio, and then she can go. So what we're going to make today has also got 3D petals, but we're going to leave them flat. So we're just going to make one of these cute, just a cute little pin cushion, and you're going to use the skills that we've already learnt while I've been on the little shows on Love and Hug. And again, you'll find them through the Facebook page, but we've uploaded the first 5 and I'll do the others onto the Lisa Chandler YouTube channel as well. So they're always there for you to have a look at. So we made 3D petals like this the other day. We've already done our Suffolk puffs when we were making cherry blossoms. So I just want to go through the process of designing one of these with you so that you can make your own as well. Okay, so for these, I'll just get rid of these ones. We are going to use, what are we going to use? Oh yes, I grabbed this floral up here, so I've cut some of that down ready. Okay, someone's decided they're going to sit on the ironing board. We'll fix that. So we're going to run with these. I actually snuck this out of my applique sampler stash that lives on the set on one of the bottom shelves. It's the safest place to keep all my fabric when I'm making the blocks for the girls at the moment. So that's going to be the front of my pin cushion. So that's going to be green there. And then I'm going to use the blossom for the back of the pin cushion, so you can see a whole lot of it on the back. And then for the petals, I'm going to use the blossom as well for the front so that I get a nice contrast. A little bit so it looks like green leaves and a flower, I suppose, is the plan. So the first thing that we need to do is design up our petal and get an idea of the scale of what we're doing. And you know me, I've got the plate out again, ready to go. There we go, she's happy now. So we've got these cut down. Now I decided that I wanted my finished pin cushion to be the same size as this one, and so it's going to be finished 6 inch. So I've cut my squares at 6.5. That means that when I make my petals, including the seam allowance, I need you to have a quick think about this, get your brain working. The finished size is 6 right across, and I want my petals to meet in the middle, so they need to be 3 across, okay, because they're half. And then we need to add enough for the seam allowance to tuck into the seam. So I need the height of my 3D petals, like the ones we made the other day, to be 3¼ inches high. All right, so they're going to be finished 3. We don't need to worry too much about the seam allowance at the top. Oh, I suppose we do. Hang on, let me think about that. Yeah, finish we know. Oh, I had to think then. Finish, they need to be 3¼ high. Yeah, that's right. That's right. You don't worry about your seam allowance up here because we're using this whiz bang method we did the other day, that we cut them after we have sewn them. I can't believe that. Some of you would be sitting there going, Lisa, we've done this before. It's not rocket science. So I think what I'll do first is just on my template plastic, I am going to, oh, did you see my pretty flower? Look, that's what look. I'll take a photo and pop it up straight after the show. It's gorgeous, Pandora. It's just white and it's on a grey wall. I'll take a photo. There was an old rusty gate out the back of this house that we are renting, and I scrubbed it down with the wire brush and painted it last year and popped a creeper on it and put it against a dark wall just just for fun one day, and now a year later it's looking lovely. Marie, I'm writing. Hey Marie, you made it though, you're here. You made it, you're here. Marie was worried she'd forget about this morning. Yeah, so you can watch them again here on the Love and Hug show, or I'm going to pop them across onto the Lisa Chandler YouTube channel. So I have one, and remember, just when you're looking for me, I'm Leesa. So there's a Lisa Chandler YouTube channel. Cass is putting them, my go-to girl is putting them into a folder on there, and you'll find on there episodes of the Craft and Cook show, and pretty much all of our Chandler's Cottage shows for the last couple of months are up. I will be going through and kind of deleting a few soon if I think they're not relevant, or we've repeated ourselves a couple of times, or they were shows, you know, for specials that have finished. But yeah, there's lots and lots on there to have a look at the moment. All right, I've cut this down to 3 1/4, just so I've got a really good idea of what size this needs to be, this petal. If you have a look at this one, see this shape on here? That is something that I could freehand draw on here, or I could do it, if I don't want to freehand, I would do it the way I usually do, and I might use a plate to give myself a little bit of the shape. So just find something with a curve on the size that you like the look of. So I got this, literally I was in the kitchen squishing it down and just making it, just going, yeah, that'll be okay. So if I take that plate and just maneuver it till I've got, what have I got on that one? So maybe folks about 1 inch across on the bottom I want. So let's just draw that and see what it looks like. So there's one curve there. That's pretty good. So I'll mark my plate so I know where I started and finished using the curve. Then if I take my plate off, and I will mark, look a bit fatter, how about 1.5 inches today? If I go out to there and do the same thing, now that's pretty good. Let's just see how I end up. There we are. I'll hold that up closer for you to see. So you can see that? That's just using a plate. And in having this already cut down, there you go, you can just see it. Having this already cut down made it a lot easier for me to make sure I got it the right height. So what we can do now is cut this out. The scissors that do not have P for paper written on them. 2 cuts. I only have myself to blame if later on I complain that my scissors are blunt. There we go. So there's our template. Alright, so we'll grab our strip. So I cut this down to about 4 inches before I just cut a strip of it. The other day when we made them, we talked about having different colours on each side, but for this no one's really going to see underneath, so we'll be okay with this one. You know, the other thing, just while I remember, if I forget to mention it later, the other lovely little thing is because these are not sewn down, they're loose, they're really nice if you've got your little pairs of scissors, just to pop your scissors under there as well. You can sort of just pop little things, or your skeins of thread underneath, something just to hold things while you're sewing. They're quite cute. So we only need 4 petals. So we'll just pop those together and we'll draw them on. Now I am sitting the template right on the base because I know that this is the finished height that we need, and we only, remember, need to leave a little scant 1/2 inch in between them because we're going to cut them out after we've sewn them. You can see we're not using much fabric at all with this little project, so you could have a lot of fun going through your stash, finding little bits and pieces to use. And of course, you know, you don't have to use all the same fabric. You can mix it up. If you've got 4 pretty pinks for the 4 petals on the front, you can do that. You know I love an ombre fabric. I think you've worked that out by now. So if you had ones that change colour from light to dark, from the centre dark out, you could fussy cut it from different flowers so that you had, you know, a little different flower in the middle of each one. And of course, if you are an embroiderer or a stitcher, get your threads out and embellish little flowers onto these. Very, very pretty. What stuff everywhere. Okay, we need a machine. Okay. Turn that on. Put that in. There we go. Eventually, I will have a table here, so I don't have to very unglamorously get the machine up off the floor. It's down to about 3 days away now. Three. Right, what have we got in here? Okay, great. So we've got a plain light coloured thread in here, which is going to work fine for these little petals. If you've got really strong colours like we did the other day, or red and gold or something like that, it's really nice if you do have a matching thread. And you don't want too big a stitch, remember. You want it to be about, I don't know, 2, probably about 2, like that, and then you can have a look. Might be time for me to put my glasses on, I think. Here they are. So I'm not working completely blind. Now, I did mention the other day, and I am guilty of taking it off my Benina because I was using it on another machine. It's nice to have a clear foot, okay, so that you can see where you're going, clear or an open toe. I'm fine with these little simple shapes, but if you start doing some more complicated leaves and things, then you'll want a nice open or clear foot so you can see where you're going. So we'll stop at the point. I was worried then. Remember the other day I was sewing, I had dark green underneath. Oh, that would not be pleasant. I would have been a bit embarrassed. Go. One more. Now I'm not going to stop in between. I'm just going to keep going. So I'll sew across the edge here and do the next one. Two to go. I would actually love to see one of these done with a stripe for the petals. I think it would look so cute. And then one more. And again, if you are making these for presents, because you can't see underneath, if you just had, you know, like a scrap piece of a plain fabric, use that for one side if you need to. Save on the good stuff. There we go. Alright, that's all done. So I'm not going to sew the pincushion up this morning because I know you all know how to sew up a pincushion. So we're just going to come back and do these 3D petals. First thing that I want to do is give this a press and we'll set it. You just get a nicer finish to your petals if they've had that press to set the seams first, just like anything that's good for that. Okay, and then what we can do is come back and cut these out. And when we cut them out, just 1/4 inch. See? Never use your scissors for plastic. Never, ever, ever. Mind you, I think they were already blunt. I will confess. I think they've seen some action. So we'll get out my squeaky good ones that need an oil. And cut round these. I noticed a lot of you did order from Chandler's Cottage forceps after the 3D flower show. I'm not laughing at you. I am absolutely happy and thrilled because I know that you saw the value in getting them. And which every order had a pair of forceps on it after the show. It was lovely. We've still got lots in stock, but they are the coolest looking forceps. One lady confessed she has forceps, but she had to have the multicoloured ones because they were much more fun. I think they work the same. Maybe they work better because they are super psychedelic. I'm not sure. But they are like whew, flash. So there's 2 sizes that I use. There's these, and there's also some bigger ones that have got a curve on the top for longer pieces you want to turn through. But that's what they look like. Okay, so we're going to open up our petal. Now I just, do you see what I'm doing with my finger? I don't even notice I'm doing it anymore. I just grab my finger so I can get the forceps in. You sit them up inside the petal, and then what you're going to do is make sure that your handle is sitting on top of your thumb. So you can open them out and grab some. If you go that way, there's nothing to grab. This way, you can pick up the top, and then you can pull the whole petal over the top of the forceps. So you're not putting any stress on where you've stopped and started. And then just pop your forceps up inside and give that a push out. Really quick and easy, and it's just so much easier on your hands. Bernadette, you have a leave pass for being late. It's perfectly fine. It is Saturday morning here, so it's perfectly fine. It's actually a bit cloudy out there today in Melbourne, but it is warm. It is surprisingly warm, so I think I'm going to fit a walk in this morning. Before we head to the warehouse, because today we start setting up for our Australian textile exhibition, which will be an online show and tell at least 2 times a day on the Chandler's Cottage Facebook page. So if you've only been following us on Love and Hugs, please think about joining Chandler's Cottage, because you're going to get to see some beautiful work by amateur and professional quilters this coming week from Tuesday to Sunday. So we're moving our whole set after today's show back to our warehouse and setting up the frames so that 2 or 3 times a day, I can put up some beautiful quilts and come on live and show them to you. We've got Eileen Campbell's and Rachel Daisy's and a few other beautiful ones, plus the bags in our bag challenge to win a sewing machine or an overlocker or a big fat gift voucher from me. Okay, so they're all turned through, all done, and now we'll just give them a press so that we make sure they keep their shape. Okay, 1, 2. Yes, they will be recorded, Marie. I'm just reading what you're saying. Yeah. They're all, see, if we do them live on Facebook, they get posted back onto the page. So they will be there for you to see. They'll also be on the Australian Textile Exhibition Facebook page. But for quilters, I would stick with Chandler's Cottage. They'll all go up on the Textile Exhibition page, but not so much about quilting and special offers and things like that. That will still happen on Chandler's Cottage. Okay. Oh, I hope I got it right. Yeah, I did. Sorry, I just had to check. I couldn't help myself. All right, I'll move this out of the way. There we go. So now all you need to do is find the center of each side. So for us, you can just fold it over, or it's going to be, we know what it is, don't we already? It's 3 1/4 because of our petals. So if I just pop a mark that way, there we go. I can see where they go. So we're going to center them there. So one there, one there. There. How easy is that? So my petals are going to be a little bit narrower on this one than this one, but that's okay. And if I wanted to go back and have a play with this template again and make them a little bit fatter, I mean, make up one and see what you think and come back. All I would do is, oh, Bronwyn, hang on, I'll come back to you. All I would do is just make it a little bit fatter. Or you could really have a play and go out and come back in, so that, if I just hold that up for you and show you. See what I've done there? So you could go out and come back in. You could just make it slightly wider. You can just mess around with it however you want to. So these are going to go on. I would pin them in place. If I wasn't going to tack them on, I would pin in 2 spots like this so that they don't move while you're sewing your pin cushion together out here. And then for the center, so go back and have a look. You can do a little Suffolk puff like we did the other day. You might have some beautiful buttons that you could use. That would be absolutely fine as well. Pop that there. I'm going to pop these in because I will come back this afternoon and finish mine off. What are you always talking about? You lot are so funny. Nancy, what did you write? Oh, I know, I keep coming up as leads. I don't have a problem with that. That's perfectly fine. I'll answer to anything. It's most things. It's fine. There you go. Now, what did you just say? What did you just say? Who just did a Zoom class with Rachel? I don't know what that... Oh, with Rachel Daisy. Oh, you took a Zoom class with Rachel. There you go. Yeah, she's a hoot. Now, what did I say? Yeah, of the exhibition, yes. Yes, Nancy, I am having a fabulous day so far, but it's only early. Things could change, but I'm hoping it all stays the same. Bronwyn... Yeah, Monday would be great, thanks, because I don't know when we're going to be in and out today, but I will call you and talk about that. Don't worry about the spell check. By all of you, don't worry about the spell check. It's fine. I'm not going to disown you. Okay, so that's all good. So something to go in here. If you decide to do this after, it's just going to be a little bit more difficult. You really need to make that decision now and get that sorted. Then that's going to go right sides together. And you're going to sew all the way around. Now you need to leave a gap, right, to turn it through. My top tip would be try not to make it right over a petal. So if you can just do a little gap here maybe, that'd be really good. And if you're thinking, how on earth am I going to turn it through? Same deal, you're going to do it with your forceps. So you would have a gap here. You'd be able to put your forceps right up into here. If you've got the longer pair, of course, you'd use those. So right up in that corner, grab onto that corner and use it to pull the whole thing through. If you've put a puff on here, that'll be flexible. If you put a button on, you'll just need to make sure that this opening that you've made is big enough to allow, of course, for that button to come through when you turn it right side out. That's it. So easy. You have all the skills, all the tools to do that, and I'm sure you'll be able to do it. So I hope you have a lot of fun with it. The fabrics that I've got up, just again, so there's, now Fiona, I will go and check what's still online in a minute. I think I know why that bolt was not on. I do know. It's because I was going to use it for one of our charm packs, like the Charming Australia that I had up, and it was set aside for those. That's why Steve didn't put it online. But we've run out of one of the other fabrics, so I have to start from scratch. So I can put this up online. I will make sure that happens. I don't even know if it's in the back of the website. I will make sure it's up sometime over the weekend. Steve's just a little bit under the weather after his first vaccination shot this morning, so I won't hold much promise for today, but we'll get it done this weekend. Same with this one. There's not much of that left. The blossoms of these guys are fine. I'll be honest, I've got those. That's fine. And the two fans. I think you've seen the fans before. Have you seen the fans before? Yes, you have. So that's the fan print as well. So this is the biggie. This is the biggie out of the range. So that's got the big 60 centimeter repeat. You can use it as big panels, but I'm in the process of playing with it and fussy cutting all of the fan bits into 5-point kaleidoscope at the moment, which is great fun. That's the tea cozy that we made the other day together, and we did the pocket detail. I've still got mine to finish off with the pocket detail, and I will get that done and show you. And that's it made up in the bag. Can you see the bag? And those handles are also online, and the pattern for the tote comes with the handles all in the pack. So if you haven't made a big tote before and you're looking for a pattern, if you buy the handles, it comes with it anyway. So I'll pop that back there for you. All right, everybody. I hope that's all good. Oh, that was the bag we did the other day. I'll put him back. I hope you're all good. Have a great weekend. Stay well. Get the washing done if you work, and get it done early, and get the shopping done early, and all that done early, so that you can have an enjoyable Sunday and get a lot of sewing done. I think that's the important thing, most important thing. I'm going to head outside now, and once I work out how to shut down Facebook because it's playing up, I'm going to head outside and take a picture of that creeper for you and pop it up, just to wish you all a really nice weekend. If you've got any questions, stick them in the comments for me, or email me at info@chandlerscottage.com, and I will get back to you over the weekend in between putting up that set for the exhibition. I hope to be back with you on Monday on Love and Hugs, and as I said, I'll post up a few extra bits along the way. All right, have a great weekend. Bye.